Janet from another planet? Is 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 Janet from another planet?
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences. The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Doing well, and she hopes we have a great stream.
Well, good. Tell her I said hello too. Hope she had a great weekend.
The last day of her weekend is today. Well, we've got quite the crowd here. I think a lot of these people are yours too. We have Mr.
I sent out a couple little.
Hey, I'm Bob. Okay, that never gets old. Let me show you how we created this entire video in just a few clicks using TuneB.
Videos, and some to make sure people know about it.
Six Nation 31 Kings is here. Let's do this. This is a show. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Boosh. Boosh doesn't come very often, I don't think. So, hi, Kronos. Six Nation 31 Kings. I can actually see everyone, which is awesome. And Flady. Hi, Flady.
So we're going to talk about the 1997 Luc Besson classic, the action-packed sci-fi, Valerian-inspired The Fifth Element. Janet, this was your pick. Tell me, how has this movie affected you for the past 25 years?
Well, I've seen it about, I guess, maybe 20 times. I thought it was more than that, but once I started sitting down thinking about it, it wasn't. It's only been about 20 times, but I think it's a great movie. I love it. It's a great sci-fi action which I love. And it's really heartwarming now to have watched it again with the situation that Bruce Willis is in, with his, with his memory loss and stuff. So it's nice to see him in his heyday.
I really cry whenever I read stories about him medically. He was such a figure that I watched. ABC really went out on a limb and just put him front and center the premiere season for Moonlighting, and he was just like every young boy's idol. I mean, you want to talk about edgy? That guy brought edgy into vernacular. He brought out punk rock on prime time. He did. With him bouncing off Sybil Shepherd, which is still one of my and yeah, it's been a while, Bush. I'm sorry, sir. But this movie kind of came off as a second resurgence for him because they just like 5 years before Moonlighting stopped, and he wasn't in a slump, but this movie kind of hit his signal again because he was in Striking Distance and Hudson Hawk and a bunch of other movies in the early 90s that did not make it big. We'll be going over those films soon.
Yeah, they. I don't know, something about this movie in the way he was able to portray action hero type character, and also stay a little bit comedic without being stupid. You know what I mean? I think that really made a big difference in the way people viewed him when they came to see this movie, considering the story around it and how he handled it. I think he did an excellent job. I can't even picture anyone else being in that part.
Luc Besson was not really known at the time. Cinephiles, and I would say that I was a cinephile by the time this came out. When I was 19, I watched The Professional in theaters. And then I watched La Femme Nikita, and I watched some other movies that were from France, and I was starting to get an idea of things. I was not smart. I might have had experience in watching these films. I was not smart. It took me into my 30s to begin to put things together really well. But guys, I'm going to be frank with you guys. I'm a little bit retarded. I really like this film for what it is. And yesterday was the first time I've seen it from the absolute start. Usually I start after the priest is running through the hallway and the UFO is taking off at the pyramid. That's usually where I start this movie, because I'll be the last one in the living room to see it. I just, I'm bringing in the steak, or I'm bringing in the popcorn, or I'm getting stuff. But guys, what do you need? I'm in the kitchen. And I saw yesterday Luke Perry's in this movie. Aziz, light. And they're marking down how many times Aziz has to get the light out there. But I really, Luke Perry is like number 6 on the movie billing. He's in the first 7 minutes of the movie, and he only has maybe 100 lines, less than 6 billing. I'm just gonna say there is a bright spot for any of you. If you think that you're not going to be able to account for much, Luke Perry was the 6th billed character in this film. I enjoy this movie. I don't love it as much as I love The Professional, but it is a fantastic movie, and it really gives us like a good look at Bruce Willis in his prime.
Yeah, the thing about Bruce Willis being in this. Oh, did I talk over you?
Sandy Run.
Hold on, my sister's calling me. I'm hang up on her. Jesus, she knows we do this. I've been doing this for over a year on Monday night. Sorry, everybody.
That reminds me. Let me turn my phone off.
Yeah, I need to let me turn mine
Silent
off.
mode. I love you, silent mode.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now I lost my train of thought. The fact that he got to be in this movie and play someone that was his action character, action packed kind of person, but not really get to do, you know, like some of his other ones that were didn't the Christmas movie come out after this, Die Hard. Okay, so this was like the stepping into that role of you know, toting guns, shooting with both hands, blowing shit up, beating the shit out of people, getting all bloody, getting blown up himself, like the scene where he's behind the big bar in the center. It was really heavy mahogany looking type wood, and they were shooting those little rockets at it, which I was shocked. It took what, 3 rockets to basically destroy it, which was really shitty, you know, weapons, whatever. But I think it's and his hair being blonde. I had a really hard time. I don't know. It took me back to his early, you know, very early part, because he had hair, you know, because after all this time we've gotten used to him being bald, and when he was in Moonlighting he had thick, you know, dark hair and everything. So seeing him in this one again, this time I noticed, I was like, oh, his hair is blonde. You know, even though I'd seen it 20 times, I was noticing details that I didn't notice before. But you know, he didn't look too bad with blonde hair. He looked pretty good, I thought. But I think he did a phenomenal job at playing the part that he did. But I think the other characters that were in the movie is what brought out you know, his character being even better. You know what I mean? Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But like the character on the phone, his mother, he dealt with her, and you never see her. You just hear her voice.
That woman was just given a spot in the special thanks. That's it. She doesn't even have a character name. It's Korben's mom.
Yeah, so I just thought it was great. I mean, she reminded me of like on what was that other show that you never heard her on the one with the nerds?
Which one?
The one with all the nerds that became a huge hit, Big Bang Theory. The one guy's mom, which you never saw, you just heard her screaming all the time.
I need to make a confession right now. I've watched less than 10 episodes of Big Bang Theory because I think they're fake nerds.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
they're fake nerds.
I love that show. I just thought it was really, really good, and it made nerds popular. Even though they didn't do everything correct with the nerds, it brought nerddom back. You know, it made people that like comic books and Comic-Con and different things like that more popular, and put us at the top, you know, instead of at the bottom, you know, where no one wanted to hang with the nerds. And now the nerds are popular and people want to be friends with nerds. And I think it's, you know, it took a show that a lot of people didn't like, but, you know, to me it was worth it.
It's not that I don't like Big Bang Theory. I value it for the cultural impact that it had on normies.
Mm-hmm.
But when I watch Big Bang Theory, where nerds get together and try to do nerd things, I'm like, they're posers. That is not. They are playing D&D within 5 minutes. Fuck you. D&D takes you 9.5 hours on a Saturday. You ignore your family. You tell them, here's some money. Go to Six Flags. I don't fucking care. Just take the goddamn card. We're gonna be busy, and don't come back before this time because we're still gonna be busy being nerds in the front room. And that's what D&Ders do. These guys play D&D within like 10 minutes and like, okay, put it up. Like Sheldon's got a problem. Oh, we got to focus on the main problem. No, Sheldon might be on the spectrum. I agree, yes, but he is not a nerd. I don't see him to be where anybody would want to have him as a dungeon master, especially, or another character.
Well, you know, I don't know. I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons at the time that I got to see it, and I wasn't as upset about it as you were. I mean, I would be now that I know how much work it takes, to actually dive into the characters and to try to figure out what you're going to do and how your team is going to do it. And then all the time it takes to roll the dice and, add up everything and all the different things I didn't understand, but I do now. But for all the other people, like I have 4 sisters and none of them read comic books. None of them were interested in any of the figurines that I had or doing half the stuff that I was interested in. So to have them watch shows like that brings nerds out and they laugh and they say, well, I didn't realize how much, how cool being a nerd was, it makes you feel good. So if it can help a bit, then it's worth it to me. So
Tim's like, any first day of role playing, any game that doesn't take the whole night to make the characters, it's not a real role playing game.
Well,
love that.
it took a while for you to, but I had 2 other people help with me. So, well,
You also did yours kind of between sessions too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I was thrown in there and I had to, but I knew what I wanted in my head and I knew what I wanted her to be like, but I didn't understand all the other aspects of what it took to do it. But this movie, it was interesting the way that they throw the 2 characters together. You know what I mean? Because when you see her fall into his cab, when she leaps, not knowing what's going to happen, because she doesn't realize it's going to splat down on the pavement. She's just born. She doesn't understand what's happening or what's going on around her. And the fact that she falls into his cab is, I thought was kind of, comical, but action, action comedy or whatever you want to do in that whole aspect of it. And how he's intrigued by her.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is important. The shooter who murdered my sweet little Daniel.
The movie, the decision that she makes to jump, getting her and the main character together, I really feel is a lazy dungeon master who's relying on, just coincidentally, this red-haired super babe flies in the back of your cab.
Well, the fact that she wakes up, she sees all these people staring at her. She's talking to them in the only languages she understands. And they're all, she's fearful of them, especially since the one comes over and he seems aggressive and angry, and that's her first, interaction, basically. If it'd been someone else, like the scientist that was in awe of her, the circumstances might have been different. But I just thought she did really well. And when she was standing up there and you see the look on her face, that I'm going to get emotional again, just like it did the night we watched it. It made me think of the people in the Twin Towers. Just like I said, it made me fear and feel sad for her because of the look on her face and the thought of not knowing that there's nowhere to go. She has no way out. So the only way for her to get away was to leap, to jump. And to me, that was a very deep part of the movie, even though I know you didn't see it that way. That's how I saw it. I saw her in desperation and wanting to get away from where she was, not knowing what the consequences were going to be. And that's what I saw. So maybe I'm reading more into it, but that's how I envisioned it. Yeah, she was very terrified.
And I like the fact that she had her own language. In fact, she had like 400 various words that she was supposed to have. She screwed around the language enough that Luc Besson, who was intrigued by this young red-haired vixen, he's asking her questions, and so she hands him her notes. And he's already looking for a way out because the blue-skinned diva singer, who he was already boffing because it's his second wife, he's kind of hitting that 7-year itch. It's only been like 5 or 4 years. He wasn't married to her long at all. Their name's Mai Wen, I guess. And he meets up with
pretty enough anymore.
Milla and him start talking, and so they start working together, and he kind of gets intrigued by her, and she's like, I've never slept with the director before. And then they get married after he gets divorced.
Yeah. Are they still married?
No, no. No, that was a flavor. That was a flavor of the '90s. She changed her hair color, and the flavor went away. And that was.
And that was one of the worst dye jobs I'd ever seen.
It is, and they dyed her hair really bad. It broke her hair. It killed her hair. They had to give her a wig after like 3 or 4 days of filming because the results of it was horrible. And back in the '90s, remember we were dyeing our hair with Kool-Aid. And those of you kids that are still
whatever you could get, berries.
I got bug juice. I got bug juice.
So yeah, and then they were using like real peroxide stuff when blondes were dyeing their hair blonde, because you could tell by the roots her hair was really, really bleached out, and then they put the orange on that.
I got some people that are slamming me in the chat like, Bruce, come on, it's a leap of faith. You know, it's supposed to be a movie. We're gonna have some unbelievable things happen. I just
well, the thing is that it drew me into her character. I had sympathy for her. You know what I mean? And I think that's basically what they were trying to do, is to have you sympathize for her, because they wanted you to care about her mission, you know, or what was the reason why she was there, you know. And remember what I said when the ship was flying through the air coming toward Earth, and I said what it looked like. To me, it looked like a chrysalis, you know, with a living being on the inside of it that's about to come out. And then I said that I thought the suit, or the special suit, you know, I guess it was a suit, because I don't think that was the creature. Do you? No. It was inside of a suit that looked like one of the Muppet monsters from the Dark Crystal to me. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they chose to use that type of, you know, like special spacesuit or whatever. And it was it was shaped like a chrysalis. And then when they were able to find the hand that was holding onto the handle of something inside the ship that he was in, or it was in, it looked like a chrysalis too, like the ship. So when they put it inside of the DNA machine to build, you know, the DNA and, you know, make it into a creature they didn't know what it was going to look like, it looked like a chrysalis. So to me, I thought that was little details like that is life is going to spring forth from the chrysalis. See, I just thought that was very interesting. But I guess I get too deep into some of these things.
Oh, it's fine. I like the fact you get deep in it. I like the fact you get into the movie.
Well, I love movies. I love movies. I love books. You know, I love anything, even listening to a story from someone trying to, you know, delve into it. That's why I thought I felt so lucky when I told you about, you know, how I wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons growing up, and I never got to because we moved all the time. And no one would let me play because they knew that once they build my character up, I'd be leaving, you know, so they didn't want to waste their time on me. So the fact that you guys let me in was great. So that whole thing is that in your mind, you get to use your imagination to help push your character along. And I feel like that's what I did with this movie. And I try to put myself into the script and understand the symbolisms of what the writer was trying to show. And to me, that's what the ship looked like. And you said it did too once I brought it to your attention.
Yeah. Here's the Gartham that we were talking about.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't remember the Dark Crystal, it's for free on YouTube with ads if you don't have an ad-supported, ad-free version. Or Brave. Brave is good. Yeah, this really cool. Movie is just fantastic. And I'm picking at a movie that at the start of the film, it tells you there's a prophecy. It tells you there are things that are prophesized to happen. These events will happen. It will come to pass. And then Bruce, being obstinate, it's like, I wish they would have came up with a better way to make, you know, Mila and Bruce meet up in character. I really wish that was like the worst part of it.
Didn't you say it was like how many was it? 500 every 500 years?
3.
It's every 300 years, which when at the ending part, I don't want to ruin it, but the part where the fifth element is activated, right? And it turns the creature or whatever, the world destroyer, which I thought reminded me of uh, the same monster basically that fought Doctor Strange, right? The world destroyer that this and the other one, Gamatu or whatever, the one that came with the Silver Surfer for the Fantastic Four. So it's not like it's something that's never been done before, because we don't know what's out there, and our imagination says it could be something that could come. We have, no way of imagining what it would be like, but that comes and just takes all our resources, or sucks our world dry of what it needs and moves on, because we're just like roaches on the planet. We're not needed or whatever. But that's what I felt from this. And when the fifth element is activated, it turns the world destroyer basically into another moon. So I said, so like every 300 years, we're going to have moons just floating around if somebody was to activate the next fifth element. I just thought it was ingenious point of view, the way that they did it. And the special effects, considering, okay, we're watching a movie that's over 25 years old. Okay. And
you don't have to state that. I don't need to remind myself I'm old.
No, I mean, the special effects. Look how good the special effects were in this movie. I mean, everything about it. Yes, there was flaws, but think about it. You're watching a movie that's from 25 years ago, and then you're seeing the future now. Okay, you're seeing like the little things that came out in the when he's choking on the cherry pit. Okay, and he's choking, and the priest Cornelius is standing there saying, "Yeah, all these things that you have, and none of them are here to, just to pat you on the back so that you can breathe." So you have everything, but you have nothing. You have no one that cares about you enough to want to save your life, basically, which is fact, and it just like any rich person, you can have everything and have buku money falling out of your ass, but if you don't have someone there to hug you and care about you, even give a shit whether you're breathing, what good is all that money? I just love the whole point of view of the direction that the movie was trying to show you, in the little innuendos outside of the action, and things like that. I just thought it was great. I think the overall story was just uplifting. I mean, after the movie was over, I mean, I know I was such a kid watching. I was like, scenes were coming up, and I was like, oh, I forgot how cool this part was, and I was wanting to, make sure I got to absorb it again, because it was so, I don't know, I just loved it. It just made me feel so, I don't know, rejuvenated.
This movie takes you back.
Not just that.
It completely takes you back to a more innocent time, to where you weren't troubled by a recession. You weren't worried about family members in their elder age. You weren't worried about that.
Or a pandemic.
We were younger. We had other things going on that young people worry about, like, I hope this person likes me enough, or gee, I hope my boyfriend doesn't forget it's our 6-month anniversary on Thursday. Oh, wait, we're going out to a movie on Thursday. Maybe he remembered. And when you're in your 20s, this movie, when it was in the theaters, it really speaks to you. And this could be said for any film. But this is such a classic movie, and this is a classic film because it hits all the notes that it should. In 1997, it was kind of genre bending. In 2023, it is a breath of fresh air, and it's exhilarating to watch the kinetic action they have, the miniatures at play, the barely out of the dev kit CGI that's being used for the floating police cars in the streets. That all holds up.
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space? With this free satellite Earth Maps tool, you can zoom right.
And the movie, I think, is based on the strength of the actors and the fact that you're not looking at the film having the uncanny valley kick off, like if I were to watch The Phantom Menace right now, I could not watch it more than 30 minutes because there's just too many parts in that movie where I see the CGI is shit. And
Well, how much
CGI,
did it cost? Do you remember how much it cost to make this movie?
it wasn't much. Like it was under 40 million, I think.
Okay, under 40 million. And look how good the CGI was and the costumes and how many good actors they paid to be in it, right?
Mhm.
And then today you watch a movie, it costs $200 million to make, and they're happy if they make the money back, basically,
Mhm.
in the movie. But the CGI is not nothing compared to using the techniques that they did back then 25 years ago. I'm still watching movies and I'm going, God, this movie sucks. I mean, it's just the quality of the costumes. I'm not talking about just face makeup. I'm talking about the clothing they're wearing, the props that they're using, all these different things. And I was watching, I was like, there's things in this movie that they can't even really do well today. I mean, the diversity that was in this movie. There was black people, there were women, there were tall, there were short, there was fat, there was skinny. I mean, it had just so many different on. They had drug addicts, they had hookers, they had they had soldiers, they had police officers. I mean, they just had all these random things in it. And then today they tell us that we don't do any of this stuff, that we've never done that before. And it's like we've progressively gotten worse movies instead of getting better. 25 years ago, this was a great movie and it had so much in it that was entertaining. And if they got this script today, I don't think the movie would be as good, because I don't know what they do to it, but it would not be this movie. Wouldn't be as good as this movie turned out with the CGI, with his costumes. I mean, everything about it. It would probably be shit.
The
I hate to
movie
say it, but
the script when he was 16.
Mhm,
You have to remember that. This was his passion project.
mhm.
And he was in his 40s working on this movie, seeing it all come to life. And so he had $90 million, which 90 million, $40 million, that's a lot of money in 1996 to make film. He had
Yeah.
enough to do whatever he wanted, and he did. He did everything he wanted with this movie. And he honored Valerian, which is the comic he read, and the artist for Valerian contributed. There's like two or three books that are out based on the artwork of the Fifth Element by
Mhm.
the creator of Valerian. And if you are interested in it, you can go search eBay. We'll do that later. But this is a movie that has so much authenticity and sincerity and heart in it. They believed in this film.
Mhm.
The problem I have is I like Luc Besson irrationally too much. I like him better than Ridley Scott. I like him better than James Cameron when it
But
comes
why?
to his products.
What is about him that you think is the reason why you like him so much?
Um, God, I'm gonna be a complete dick here, but I like the fact that he's got a very eclectic wife palette. He's got a very good he's got a very good artistic eye. He knows how to talk to the actors and get them to perform and feel as if they are the character that he sees them being. And he got Danny Aiello to work as a restaurateur in Little Italy. He got
Mhm.
Natalie Portman to do her first set of scenes. That was her first movie, The Professional. He
Mhm.
had the Fifth Element, which was amazing. He was able to take a nobody actor, and I'm going to say a nobody actor because nobody knew Jason Statham in 1999. Nobody knew him in 2001. When a
Mhm.
transporter came out, that's the movie that shot him up to the top. Okay, he was
Yeah.
in The Ghosts of Mars. He was pretty okay in that movie. He was in Snatch. He was pretty okay in that movie. He was in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. He's great in that movie. But when he got to be the transporter, Luc Besson made him a king. Luc Besson's a kingmaker. And
Yeah.
as much as, and as for all the flaws he has, I I like Luc Besson. I like the fact that everywhere he goes, he seems to make flowers bloom in my mind. Because wherever he goes, whatever he wants to do, you see the dreams that he's having turn into a false reality on a screen near you.
Hmm.
That's what I want. If I was going to be an artist, that's the guy I want to be. I want to be Bruce Lombardo doing his best Luc Besson.
Hmm. Well,
And
see, that's good. He inspires you to want to see more good films. You see, to not understand what's so hard is how can we have so many good directors out there, okay, that are able to get the right people together to make such good films, but then you have other directors, like Abrams, there's a few of them out there that seem to get really good people and make shit. I mean,
and
I don't
that's
know. I don't understand. And have more people lined up to throw more money at them to make more shit, which I don't know. I just don't
my
understand that. I just don't see why the people that are throwing the money to make these movies, don't they watch movies or something? Are they just looking at schematics on a piece of
no,
paper
you can
and
tell
then
for a
doing
fact.
it from that?
And
I don't
Hollywood
understand that.
Hollywood directors don't watch movies, Janet.
I,
You can
I don't
tell.
understand that. I don't see how they expect to ever make good shit that people like you and I and the rest of us hardworking people want to pay our money to go see if if it's not entertaining. I mean, and I'm gonna go see it more than once. Just like you said the other day, I'm gonna buy this on DVD so I can have it
Mhm.
to watch it again because it's worth having to rewatch. That's why it's a blockbuster. I mean, movies that people want to see more than once end up being the ones that make the money. And that go and say you don't even get up and leave during the movie. I just don't see how they think that that's a hit. I don't understand it. But this movie was very well made, had phenomenal actors in it, great sets, great special effects, I think. I mean, I know you weren't happy with some of the things, but overall, to me, there's very few things
one
that I didn't like.
There's one shot that I don't like, and that's when the paradise explodes.
Mhm.
That's the worst scene in the entire film.
But why? Why did you remember we talked about this when we watched it? Why do you think that was a bad scene?
They used CGI too much in that scene, not understanding the body's physiology. When you see something that you realize is improbable or impractical, and you see the fire consume the ship and it starts to break apart basically in two separate pieces, and it doesn't break apart right. It's not breaking apart right. I've watched too many movies where they detonated models, and I know what good models look like when you blow them apart, and I know what CGI does when you overlay that onto a model exploding. I know this. Now, that prop that exploded weighed over 500 pounds. The Paradise, the cruise liner they're on, 500-pound model kit. Guys, think of that, a 500-pound model kit. Now, I'll bring something out here real quick. I was doing something on Friday night. I didn't like it. This is approximately 2 pounds of plastic for Warhammer 40K. I was starting to assemble it together, and I really didn't like it. I hate the way it fits together. I don't like the fact it's got a superstructure. I don't like the fact you've got slots for the various pieces. It just kind of barely, by coincidence, you could lay things together and glue them, and that's how it's expected to hold up. Not to mention that you have 2-pound miniatures that are supposed to stand on here or stand next to it for your war games. It's a piece of shit. So I had my first, it was a gift. Thank you for the gift. If that's how GW scenery figs are or scenery pieces are, I never want to touch one again. And I know a piece of shit when I see it. When I started playing with it, I'm like, oh, this isn't that good. I've played with a lot of model kits. I've played with Monogram. I've played with.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where
Many other better model kits, but Monogram comes to mind because I just have. I had very low income for models when I was a young boy, and so you get what you can afford, and you try to improve from there. You kit bash, and we kit bashed a lot with Monogram, but I really disagreed with the prestige of owning a 40K model terrain piece. And when I got my hands on it, I'm like, ugh. Yeah, it wasn't that great. So when I look at that model kit they use for the Paradise on this movie, that 500-pound space liner model,
Yeah.
they could have done a much better job. They could have robbed it of 90% of the CGI, and they could have done that portion of it so much better. Even if you would have just done a El Cheapo crappy explosion like the Nostromo in 1979's Aliens. Walter Hill, my second favorite director of all time, by the way. I love Walter Hill. He wrote part of that, and then he was on board for part of Aliens, and then he was doing The Warriors, as you know. But he was very big part of the Aliens behind the scenes at the first stage of that movie, the pre-production such. And they didn't really know how they're going to have the Nostromo explode up until the very last portion of filming, and they just filmed a really crappy explosion in space. I would be happy with that. Hey, Bone, how you doing?
Hi.
Yeah, Boosh, listen, as a plumber, I think you can. I'm going to highlight something, and I just want you to say that Bruce is a plumber and he's approaching his journeyman test. And I know when I'm playing with shit, like I have more experience playing with shit than any of you. and I hate saying that when I have my hobby in front of me.
Yeah.
But there's times when like this is only a product that's embossed, that's brought up because of the name. And that's how I feel about GW. I have some of their models here on the table, but I'm not really a big fan of them. Hey, Bone, how you doing, sir? But that explosion in that movie is the worst part of the film, and that lasts for about 6 seconds. And afterwards, if you're like me, you can open your eyes and be like, okay, the worst part of it's over. Let's enjoy the film.
Well, see, I didn't see it the same way as you because I don't know about whether it broke in half and and how it exploded or whatever. All I know is that I do know that now one thing that does bother me is explosions in outer space where there's zero oxygen, right? But this was in the atmosphere of a ocean planet. So to me, the explosion wasn't really that far-fetched or whatever, especially since that was a humongous bomb. Remember, he had that little bitty bomb stuck on the door, right? And he went there and he's dropped the key in, everything. It had 5 seconds left or whatever. And he was like, oh, relieved. And then he hears the other clicking, and then he sees the giant chest open, and this giant, pyramid thing comes out. And and that's when he realized, oh well, they got him. They got him back. So because they were pissed off at him because he was a dick to them. So they got even and blew the shit out of the place. So it was a huge explosion. Yeah, see, to me, I thought it looked pretty darn good. It was right in the middle of where the Divas suite was at, right? Yeah. So to me, it would break in half. I just thought it looked really good. I mean,
in my head, I thought that Gary Oldman Zorg would be going and doing more than just planting one single piece of plastique on a bulkhead. I really don't see him just doing one. I would see him going all over the place. Like
but when he goes back to the ship, he only disarms the one. So Maybe it was connected to other ones. I don't know. But all I know is that he was just relieved when the little bomb didn't go off. And then when you see this huge box that was big enough to hold all of the stones, right? And his eyes get big and he was like, oh, well, I'm fucked, basically. So he knew it was the end. But, and what was great is you get to see those, what were those creatures called with the gross ears? That was the leader one of them. I can't remember how you
and I'm having a mind blank at the moment.
Yeah, me too. But the thing is, he was like happy. Remember, he says he's gonna get him back, and he said he did too. By that bomb, when he set it off, just turned that little bit. The Mangaloids, yeah. So they got him back. They took him out. They took that one butthead out on their own, and they weren't as stupid as they thought. They just had bad luck, apparently.
Now, yesterday, me and Janet were watching this movie in a Discord together, and I've got to say, I love this movie, but I haven't heard Janet. We're 42 minutes in, and I have not yet heard her squeal with joy talking about Chris Tucker as Ruby Road.
I couldn't help it. I told you I loved him. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to watch the movie again. I loved this character. I just absolutely adored this character. And if I could have dressed up as him tonight, that's who I would have. If I'd had a wig or something. I've got a couple of outfits, kind of like the different the ones with the leopard skin or the stuff. I would have done that, but it was the wig with the little the little thing coming on the top. I just love him. He was so funny. His squealing, that's what I was talking about. The amount of characters that were in this movie that were very versatile, that had they stretched the limits. Okay, and this was 25 years ago, and they're trying to tell you today, oh, that they didn't have transsexuals, they didn't have this, they didn't have that, they didn't know women, no women of color, no this, no that, and I'm like, what planet are these people on? I mean, do they think none of us has ever watched movies before? Or I don't know what it is, but every week we're watching all these movies with so many great kick butt characters in it. Women that know how to, that have brains, that know how to use, weapons, that know how to fight. They're not all just walk around sucking their thumb, waiting for the next guy to pick them up. It's just, I don't understand it. It just seems like they don't know how to make movies anymore. They don't. I mean, this had everything in it. It had great acting. It had great props, great CGI. It had a great script. Music was phenomenal. I mean, I just don't know what they thought was so terrible that they had to take it all and gut it. And I mean, if you read the rules now of what you have to make a movie to even be nominated or even be eligible to win an award for it, it's ridiculous. I mean, they've just basically cut it down the middle and pulled all the guts out. I mean, it's basically, people won't be winning the awards. The movies I'm going to go watch from now on are movies that are not in for Academy Awards, because they're not going to be any good. They're going to be shit. So that's why I love Rotten Tomatoes. If it says it's got a high rating for audience score, then it's probably going to be a movie I'm going to enjoy. But if it's got a high rating on the other people, I ain't going to watch it.
You don't want to watch when the critics say it's good? You don't want to believe them when they say Train to Busan is another boring zombie film?
I don't want to believe them about anything they say, because I think they suck. Now, years ago, Siskel and Ebert, they did pretty good. I mean, they were half and half, but at least they acted like they actually watched the movie and they cared about the movie. You know what I mean? Today, it's like none of them care. They don't even watch their own movies. They don't even read the script. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. It just doesn't make any sense. But when you work on a set, the people working there, the lighting people, the sound people, the people carrying all the props around, the makeup people, the extras, the stand-ins, the boom operators, all these other people, they're all dedicated to do the best they can. At least that's what I've seen. And then it's the executives, it's the people that show up that are investing, and they bring their kids and say, I want my kid in this scene in this movie. So everybody's rushing around trying to, take people out and put their kids in it, wife or whoever. So it's like they don't have any concept of what a story is, or I don't know what it is. It's a bunch of people that have no idea, that shouldn't be involved in making movies or TV shows or anything, because they do not watch them or want to watch them. So I don't know why they would. If it was my money, when I invest in something, I invested in like the games that make like Words with Friends, things like that. That's what I invested in, because people play those types of games, online games, and I don't think they're going to go away. I think there's going to become more prevalent. So that's the kind of stuff I would invest my money in, because I'm investing in something I actually do, something I see other people actually doing. So to me, that's might make a few bucks, But if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, will you invest in this?" and I'm like, "Well, what is it?" Well, it makes holes in holes or something, some stupid concept, and I'm like, "Well, why would I want that?" And they'll say, "Well, because it's here." I'm gonna say, "Nah, it's all right. Thank you for asking," and then I'd go on, because I'm not interested in investing in something that I don't think anyone's going to be interested in. And if somebody came to me and told me we're making a movie about a movie about a movie or whatever, and it wasn't something I would want to watch myself, then I probably wouldn't invest in it. So that to me is common sense, which we seem to be lacking in Hollywood today. Like, I just can't get over the fact that this movie is 25 years old and it's still damn good. It's better than most anything you see in right now. I still can't get over that fact of that. That's shocking to me. How good this movie was. And when you were talking about how old it was, I was like, God, really? It's that old? Luke Perry and some of these other actors that were in it, how young they were, and you're like, golly, they're young.
Every time mention, I'm sorry, Bush. I'm sorry, audience. Every time somebody says something like, this movie's 25 years old, I'm like,
hey, I feel the same way. I feel the same way as you. It's hard to realize that. It really is, but it was so good. What happened? I mean, what happened to the decay of Hollywood to make it so hateful of entertainment? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I love good movies. I love fun movies. I love movies that make me want to come back and go see it again, or get me excited about watching it. I mean, everyone wants to put $5 down or 20. I don't know what it costs to go to a porn, because you're going to get a happy ending, right? You know what I mean?
There's days for the end credits.
But what
Does she ever get her sink fixed? As a plumber, I want to know, does she get her sink fixed?
Yeah, but the thing is, there's going to be a happy ending for someone while you're watching the movie, because the title says so, basically. And it's a porn, so somebody's going to win. But when you're today, it's like roulette. You're rolling the dice. You don't have a clue, because you're going through the information, going, God, who wrote it, who's starring in it, who's the director, all that, still not knowing for sure whether it's going to be any good. But it's getting easier now to kind of tell, well, if that person's, I'm not going to go see it because it's going to be shit. So it's sad, but that's basically, instead of us going, wow, so-and-so made it, I'm going to go see it, or so-and-so's in it, they're in good movies, and you go see it. But it's not like that now. But this movie was really good. And I'm thankful they made it when they did, because if they made it today, it would be shit.
They kind of did make this movie today. In 2017, Luc Besson, my favorite director, he put forth his effort for the Valerian City of a Thousand Planets. And I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk great about it. And we are going to watch it sometime around the month of August. because I want to watch it really bad.
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna have my StreamYard just pre-planned, and it's gonna have like every fucking thing listed.
Cambria, the secret's out.
Mosquito repellent never felt so good. Off clean feel.
I'm gonna have all my D&D streams pre-planned. I'm gonna have all my movie nights planned out. I'm gonna have all my nights where I know I'm gonna be talking about politics planned out. It's gonna happen, and we're gonna have like the most detailed StreamYard pre-planning on this channel on my Rumble, and we need to watch Valerian because it is the true inspiration brought to life, and it probably doesn't make a good impression of that movie, but I still want to see it.
Hmm. Well, I'm going to see it because if any of his movies are half as good as what I thought this movie was, to me, it would be worth to watch his movies. Just because I love this movie so much. I thought it was great. To me, it had almost everything you'd want. I mean, it had comedy, it had action, it had love and romance, and it had young love, and it just had a lot of different things that I thought were really good. I mean, it had the overbearing mom, it just had so many good things in it that made it funny and entertaining, and it's just hard to get that anymore. What are we looking for?
When I opened this up, it showed me the Fast X still, and I was gonna go and that right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, they already have. They know I'm looking for Fifth Element. I was gonna click on that. I'm like, no, it's Vin Diesel. It's not Bruce Willis. Bruce, that's Vin Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's what I said, because to see him again with hair, it was just I don't know, it was kind of weird. It kind of took me back. I was like, wow, he's so young, in this, and I don't know, and he's playing opposite of a beautiful young woman, and at the same time, I know he was married to Demi Moore, a beautiful woman, and then he had 3 beautiful daughters. So
she has gotten like a serious like $75 or more bottle of wine. She is aged and improved.
oh yeah, she's still beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
She's a beautiful woman.
Oh yeah.
She's apparently a great mom, because her daughters, I've never seen lots of terrible things coming out about her daughters and stuff. And the thing is that she has like a ranch in Idaho or something, because she said she wanted to raise her kids away from Hollywood. So, and I think one of them, which is Rumor, is the one that is in acting. The other 2 daughters aren't into doing movies and things like that. So I think it's great.
Yeah, have you ever seen Heavy Metal, Janet? The first Heavy Metal movie?
Is it a cartoon?
Yes.
Okay, I think I have seen it, but it was a long time ago. One of my friends wanted me to watch it. I'm trying to remember which one, but I did have a few nerd friends every so often as I moved around. But yeah, I think it was one of my friends that said, "Hey, you need to watch this. It's really good."
It's not a bad movie. It does pretty well with what it has. Part 2 you can skip, but it's if you like a cheesy story, it's okay. Part 2 is okay. But as teenager, Bassan envisioned the world of the Fifth Element, and he wrote this when he was 16, and the movie wasn't released in cinemas till he was 38. I earlier said in his 40s. My bad. JP says something which a lot of us have always felt like it seems like an expansion on it, because that first portion of Heavy Metal has a lot of themes that are very close to what we see in the Fifth Element realized in live action.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just thinking about it. John Candy's in like 2 or 3 roles in that film, by the way. Have to watch it on his birthday or something.
Very good. But there's so many details, small details that I thought were so cool. And remember, when I got to start watching Star Trek with my dad, there was little things in the TV series, even though it was quirky and comical. Basically, if a kid watched it today, they would laugh at the sets and the sound effects and little things because there's no CGI in it basically at all. And they would just go, "What is this?" That's from the olden days or whatever. You know what I mean? But I remember watching it and my imagination just going crazy about what would it be like to be able to go to school, to go to college and get to be on a ship, and have a job and, fly all over the place and stuff like that. I just thought that was the coolest thing, get to meet other creatures from other planets and see how they live and all. It just opened my imagination about sci-fi. I just loved it. And ever since then, I've absolutely loved all the characters and different things. And my dad did give me a couple little books here and there with talking about, like some of the different creatures and what planets they came from Star Trek. So I just always loved it. And it was because my dad opened a door that I didn't know existed. And I think every child or young adult that gets, pushed into any type of sci-fi, usually whatever it is that you see that opens up your mind and opens your imagination, that's the one that you love. Like if it was Star Wars, and it was Star Wars. I mean, I thought Luke was cute, and all that stuff when I saw it, but it didn't. I'd already been opened into Star Trek, so it was hard for me to push Star Trek out of the way and put Star Wars into it, even though I did like it. You know what I mean? But but vampires were my number one because I was always loved vampires. I found a vampire book and I snuck it and I read it and I just thought vampires were super cool and all that stuff. And my mom was really mad when she found out that I was like, I wanted to be a vampire. And she's like, "What do you mean? Why? What do you know about vampires?" And when I started telling her, she was mad that I had snuck it from my aunt's house. And I love vampires, and I still do. I just love every aspect of vampires and the different stories behind the different types of vampires and where they come from and all that stuff. But what I loved about this movie was just the different details about the different people involved in this, and the different the items that they used in this thing, like the girl putting on fingernail polish, just sticking her finger in this little thing that's a different color, and then to hold Leeloo holding that thing up to her face, and it was magically she had makeup on, things like that. I just thought that was just so cool because that's something that we could have. That's something that could really be real one day. That they like with the Star Trek stuff with lasers and the tricorders and the little flip phone, they had all this cool stuff and it's starting to come to life, starting to see it for real.
Okay, I'm sorry. I see it already happening.
Yeah,
see
that's what I'm saying.
a woman can already be beautiful or hot, and she could go on a filter program on her phone or tablet,
Mm-hmm.
and she can make a video with in-camera special effects
Yeah,
to make her look like she's dolled up even more so than what she is.
yeah,
And then she can take that look we have a Mac professional salon here in San Antonio. I won't ever endorse my wife going there because my wife is not a girly girl that she would want to go do that. That's
yeah.
not her sort of thing. But you can go and have the Mac girls work on you. And if you have a existing template that you want them to follow through with, they will do it to the best of their ability. And these makeup artists that work at Mac, I've met a few of them. I know these people. I know their training. I will tell you that they do a better job with makeup than funeral parlors. They are the cream of the crop on the retail level.
Yeah,
So
but
if
also
you
you can
go
go
ahead.
and get butt implants, you can get breast implants, you can get cheek implants, you can get um men can get hair now re-put into their scalp that actually grows. I mean, you know what I mean? There's so many things that we have now. I mean, even teeth. I've seen people go and get veneers on their teeth. I ordered, what is that? I don't remember what it's called, because I got a couple teeth that are crooked, and so I ordered that thing that you put in. It's Invisalign. Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to start wearing them. So tomorrow night will be my first night to actually put them in and wear them for a couple weeks and see whether or not I can straighten a couple of my teeth. Because my dentist said, well, I just don't see. I don't think it's that bad, but I do. It's always bothered me, so I'm finally gonna try to
If
do
you're
something.
going to put forth the effort for it, I wish you the best on it.
Well, we'll
I
see what happens.
I just noticed your teeth about maybe 2 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and my eyes don't like tell me all the time like, oh look, there's a problem with the teeth. I don't. I it just I noticed it for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and it doesn't matter to me. To me, you can be flawed. Like there's there's acceptable like the,
Hmm.
the woman from the movie or the old TV show Blossom, who is on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
She used to have a honkin' schnoz. She used to have a schnoz that every accountant in New York wanted to like
Yeah.
make her like, oh, look at her schnoz. She has such a huge schnoz. I cannot wait for her to make my babies. Woo! And they were like waiting for that to happen
Yeah.
because they were thinking that she was going to marry some nice Jew accountant. And I don't know what she did marry. I don't give a shit. But like all the Northeasters I know, like they were like, man, she's so hot, and her nose, which is clearly not Greek statue material, that
Yeah.
became her most like that became the thing that they wanted to photograph the most. You didn't hear people say, I can't wait for her to do a nude scene. No, people are like, hey, smile. Oh, your blush looks great. Your nose is awesome. And they kept kissing her ass about her nose, which was like crazy. Like you would never hear of this in the 60s or 70s. They would have a woman would have been out in public for 4 years with nose bandages on until they would have gotten their nose right. But in the
Hmm.
late 80s, early 90s, they started getting brave, and feminism was like, you're going to accept us for what flaws we have. And I kind of agree with that. I like that. And besides, if a girl's got a honkin' schnoz, that just means that she's going to smell the shit in the baby diaper before you.
Well, maybe if she doesn't have a deviated septum or something. But the thing is that there's so many options today compared to 25 years ago when this movie came out. But the concept was what was so cool, that the screenwriter put those different things in there because they were in his imagination, right? See,
Yeah.
that to me is what I'm talking about. Everything that we have is an invention, paper clips, pencils, stapler, wigs, like I'm wearing right now. I mean, all these things was somebody's imagination, and they decided to do something to make it and then sell it to make a profit. And they made a lot of money, just like what was it? Um, the Titsling guy that created the very first bra, Auto Titsling. Okay. And then it became a brassiere or whatever type thing. But somebody thought about it and thought, this is something that is needed. And depending on how many people they could get to buy it, it would make money. So that's what I thought was so cool about watching this movie again, like when you and I sat and watched it, because so many things popped in my head watching it that we saw in this movie 25 years ago that was futuristic, that we really didn't really, and now we have it. Like the little thing that was spinning around on the floor to sweep up the mess, because we have those little vacuum cleaners. We have them that spray air to make the air smell better. I mean, all kinds of cool stuff that we didn't have 25 years ago.
I like the Roomba lawnmower. As a boy, that when I was a young man, when I was a young, like barely 3 chest hairs on me, I was like 11 years old in Little Latham, Illinois.
Yeah.
living a block away from future Mudvayne and Hell Yeah vocalist Chad Gray.
Hmm.
He would see me and he'd make fun of me because I was going out and pushing a lawnmower and earning like pittance for my lawn mowing skills with my buddy Johnny. And we mowed his neighbors' lawns, and these old ladies paid us pretty good money for it. Like, not great money, but over the course of a summer, I bought my own PC. It wasn't
Wow.
a great PC, it was a Commodore,
Hmm.
you know. But you you now don't have to worry about pushing a lawnmower. If you don't want to do it, you can just take your Roomba mower out for a walk in your yard one time, and it remembers the lay of your land. And on a certain day, it will wake up and go mow the lawn. It kills me. Like, wait, we're doing that? Like, I can't imagine all of, like, I was thinking when I first heard of the Roomba lawnmower, I was going to see roving gangs of Hispanics going around to the rich neighborhoods, making sure nobody was looking, smashing surveillance equipment, and then breaking the lawnmower, and then like throwing a brick through somebody's window with a wadded up piece of paper.
Try Always Discreet for bladder protection with up to 40% less bulk than Poise.
Style.
Swagger.
Join Jimmy and Kiki and their celebrity friends.
One pass.
Bricks thrown through a window? Having lawnmower issues? Call Jose's Lawn Service. We take care of everything, SA. And I was thinking that would happen, but it didn't.
Hmm.
Now we still have rampant crime, but I don't see people breaking these automated lawnmowers, which have taken away jobs. They took our jobs.
But but the thing is, you think about it, all the cool things that you imagine as a kid in your mind, I mean, that's where all inventions come from. You're thinking of something, and then you take the time and you put it together and you make a demo of it, and then you tell your parents or whatever, and then somehow somebody invents something. I mean, like all these rich people, like the guy that invented Twitter, or the guy that invented the Square, which is the way to pay for things, with your phone. Things like, there's just tons of things that we don't even think about. The guy that wrote the very first role-playing game for you to play. There's just so many things you can't even fathom what your life would have been like without any of these things at all, because somebody created it using their imagination, and it came out and made it for other people to be able to use it, to access it. So it just hit me like a ton of bricks when we were watching this movie, and I was like, all these things that are in this, and then 25 years ago when this movie came out, because you mentioned it wasn't even me. You said something about, wow, it's been 25 years or whatever, and I went, what? You remember? I was like, it's been that long since this movie came out. And then my whole view of the movie was different, because it was like we went back in time when it came to making something good. The movies have gotten worse. What people would think was a good movie, entertainment wise, has gone back in time instead of forward, compared to how good movies were back when this movie came out. The talent, the techniques that people used for props and makeup and everything else. I don't know. I don't know. It just really bummed me out after that. I just really don't understand it. That happens to me sometimes when I'm watching. I'm like, how can they make something so good? And now today, they just harp constantly about how we're not diverse enough. We don't have enough women doing this. We don't have enough women doing that, or enough blacks, or enough Hispanics, or.
Oh, they got bitchy about this movie too, because this first 30 minutes of the film, there's like only 2 people that are females, and one of them just so happens to be the one they craft out of like ether, or like some boy's dream. Which, I mean, I think it's kind of cool. This is almost Logan's Run-esque. Where like, I'm going to go on a rotation. Who am I going to get tonight, Chatterbait? And you have a hot babe or hot dude materialize in your room. It's like, aha, my matching partner. Okay, let's go. Come on, let's go. No. Now you can craft your own Leeloo.
I'm a woman, and I watched it, and I didn't even I can sit and watch a movie, I mean, and not even think about how many men are in it, or how many women, or how many blacks, or how many kids, or how many any of that. Because all I'm wanting to do is pay attention to the story and have someone entertain me for 2 hours. What is that you're showing? It's a
This
Rumba.
is the Roomba lawnmower.
Oh, okay, it's super neat.
$2,500, and this is for a half acre to a full acre.
Mm-hmm.
Husqvarna Automower.
Battery operated, so it doesn't use gas.
No, it's gay. I mean, I wish it used gas. I'm sorry, I really do, because that's when you mow the lawn. I want to smell fresh cut grass and gasoline. That's what I want to smell. I don't want to be like, what is that smell of baking of burning lithium battery?
Well,
I have in my shed. I don't want to see that.
I have a battery operated push mower, and I have 3 batteries for it. So
I'm gonna have to buy you like $150 Toro.
But I have like a blower and 2 different trimmers, and I'm trying to think of a couple little other tools, and they all use the same battery. And I just take a battery and move it around to the different tools so I can do stuff in my yard. And my edger is really cool. It looks like the nose on one of those gators, or gar gators, or whatever those are called, and it's got like a saw nose on it. It's like that, and I can trim bushes and stuff as long as the limbs aren't really thick, and it uses batteries, so I don't have to worry about having oil changed or anything. It's easy for me. It's not the fact that it uses gas, it's the fact that it's easy for me because I don't have to worry about checking the oil or any of that stuff. I just put the batteries in, charge them, and I'm ready to go. And I wear an apron. I can put 2 or 3 batteries in the front of it and go down and weed eat all the way down my driveway, and just take a battery out, put a new one in. And to me, it's convenient. It's really nice, and they're lightweight. They're not real heavy, so. Because I'm doing the yard work, so I want to make sure I have a way of doing it without having to worry about having to take it to the shop all the time. But that's what I saw from this movie, was the futuristic things that we do have now that we didn't have then. I thought was really neat. But the whole concept too, with the stones, which you don't get to see until he takes them out of her stomach, when she gets shot, the diva. And you see them, they don't look very big. They're kind of small, but you don't really understand the concept behind them until they're in the what would you call that, a temple? Was it like a temple out?
Yeah, I guess you'd say that's more like a temple, or that's yeah. We could definitely say that's a temple. The location where the Scooby-Doo sun trick happens.
Yeah, but the thing is that that whole thing was really cool. And with Ruby Rob there, he's just so funny, and he's like, "Korben, I can't remember. I don't know what to do." He's like all freaking out all the time, but he just was funny. I just loved him as comic relief. He was just phenomenal, and the fact that he dressed like he did. Okay. And he was very flamboyant and stuff. And you had told me that they said that Prince was, they were looking at Prince to play that character. And I like Prince, but I just think the guy they got to play him was just, I couldn't picture anyone else playing that character. He was so good. And the fact that he was so flamboyant and, transsexual looking, kind of like in Rocky from Rocky Horror Picture Show, but he liked women. And the stewardess were all like, rawr, and that whole scene where he's talking, he's got his little headphone, and he's like, yeah, I'm all into this. This is gonna be good. And then you see him go back down, and she's like, her eyes are rolling and everything, that stewardess. And then you see they're talking about taking off, and you see the curtain, there, and you see her feet come up, you know what I mean, through the curtains, and then slowly as they're slowing down, her feet start going back down again. I just thought that whole that whole scene was just, I was just rolling. I thought it was so fun. Do you remember what scene I'm talking about?
I do.
But I just thought he was so funny in that. And the fact that he's like going through and he's got all the yes men around him, and all those little Japanese girls or Chinese girls are in line, and he just takes a red paintbrush and he just walks by and just, slaps some paint on all their paper and stuff. And he's gabbing the whole time because he's a famous DJ basically. But I just loved him. I thought he was great.
I did like Chris Rock in that film after I got over the fact that he was being obnoxious. I had to learn that this was a character. He's supposed to be this way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying about people. What I don't understand about how you go see a movie and there's a character in it, just like Superman. Just like I said, when I first watched what's the name of that TV series the Superman was in that's really good?
Lois and Clark?
No, the newer Superman they just got rid of.
You're talking about Henry Cavill?
Yeah, Henry Cavill plays another character, the Witcher. Okay. And I really wanted to watch The Witcher because it just looked like something I would really get into. But the first two episodes, I'm sitting there watching him with blonde hair and it's long, and I'm like, oh, I just cannot get Superman out of my head. It's just ruining it for me. So you see someone, a character, and it's really hard, especially if you really like them in that character, to take them away from that character and let them be an actor in something else. And I work really hard to try not to do that, to stereotype someone. Just like I said about Wolverine, I love Wolverine. He's my favorite character in comic books. Deadpool's good too, but Wolverine I just love. He's short, stocky, hairy, and when I heard that Hugh Jackman, my sister told me Hugh Jackman is going to be Wolverine, I was like, what? I was really let down and pissed.
And it wanted a fun-sized boyfriend. That's what it was.
Well, it's a fact that he's not Wolverine. I mean, that's just not who I pictured. So when I went to see the movie, the X-Men movie, I was not thinking I was going to like it. I thought it was going to be bullshit, whatever. But I felt like he really studied the character and he really tried to portray Wolverine's character. Even saying bub. I mean, just little things like that won me over. So, and I was able to still accept Hugh Jackman in other roles. Like when he was in Swordfish, I thought he was around. I loved him in that one. But just what I'm saying is I try not to do that anymore. I really try hard to not get mad because someone plays, a gay character or they play a really mad, mean rapist or, something else and not picture them as that person, in the next movie. So, because it's just acting. And if they're a good actor, you're going to believe in it. So.
I agree. Right here. Younger Glenn Danzig could have been Wolverine. Yeah, he would have been good. They would have made him look the part. Yeah, some people hate Swordfish. I actually enjoy that movie, but I have eclectic tastes, and I know that kind of doesn't.
Well, after I saw Hugh Jackman in a towel hitting golf balls, I'm sorry, I love that movie.
I think
that won me over. The sex appeal was all I needed. That was a good movie. And he looked real good in it. He looked really good in that scene. And Halle Berry was beautiful in it. So.
And she shows her tatas, young man. My bad.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
I think a lot of people do like that film. We'll have to talk about it at length one of these days. This is probably one of the most iconic 90s movies I've ever reviewed. When I actually think about this movie kind of embellishes and goes in hard on the paint on what we were living at the time, because we were given in the 90s a very a false reality through MTV and all the extreme sports that were coming out and all that crap they were trying to feed us, a lot of us wanted to buy into it. A lot of us wanted to buy into, like, you could drink a Surge and you could like do tricks on your BMX, or yeah, I mean, or you could just like, start drinking a Mountain Dew, and before that 30 seconds is over, while you've got the 12 or 16 ounces fizzing away in the bottle going into your gullet, and you need a stomach pump later, by the way. Before that's gone, you're going to be magically transported to a land where there's a hot girl in a crop top and some short jean shorts like Barbara Bach, and you and her are going to have fun with a tire swing.
Yeah.
I mean, we were kind of given that,
But see, that was back when it just seemed like commercials were like a actual entertainment thing, that they tried to sell you a story. You know what I mean? It was instead of just selling you, trying to get you to buy this bar of soap, they wanted you to believe that it really could do this or that for you. And it was, they spent a lot of time doing commercials. And you could tell the work that they put into the script and everything to make a commercial compared to what they do today. To me, I don't see I don't know.
Well, the majority of really commercials that I see working now aren't commercials. The commercials that I see that are working best now are influencer or media-read social media people doing an ad read.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the reaction, or the fatigue factor, no, the pain relief factor. I bought that because everybody on 1200 AM I'm listening to on AM radio, and then you got Dan Bongino talking about it, and the guy from the Russia or Ukraine, that all the guys talk to him whenever there's something big going on in media. All these conservative guys are talking about relief factor.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and I thought my wife would be better for it, and she really is better for it. It's just that we're putting together some other things, and $89 towards relief factor, or have her just drink an extra beer a night and deal with the pain.
Yeah.
Well, cheaper to have an extra beer a night and deal with pain. We're going to do that instead. But whenever we probably about a year from now, we're going to have some bills knocked off, and the relief factor and the sleep factor we're going to try out. I'm going to try the sleep factor because I want to have good sleep. I don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night. I want to just be gone. And my wife is upset because I do that really well as is. And I'm like, no, you can have your relief factor. I'm going to have the sleep factor. And I think most people nowadays don't buy off commercials. Commercials are a thing of the past. We used to see commercials all the time, and commercials gave way to like the first ad reads were really not ad reads, but they were social gatherings known as Tupperware parties. Your mom had that.
Mm-hmm.
Tupperware parties.
Yeah, and the thing is too, when they started coming out with these DVRs where you could record shows, right? So what happened once they started recording shows? Through all the commercials.
Yep.
So that's when the commercials started taking a downturn, because people didn't want to watch it. And today you pay a little extra money and you get commercial-free entertainment. You don't have to, because a person's going to go buy a refrigerator if they need a refrigerator. A person's going to buy a stove. They're going to buy a broom. They're going to buy a mop. They're going to buy, they're going to go buy stuff anyways because they need it. Now, the only thing that you need to push basically is stuff that, non-essential stuff. You know what I mean? Like perfume or jewelry, other things that, a motorcycle, things that make you want, not something that you've got to have. So that's where I've seen the commercials are pushing towards those types of products, and not so much, go buy Dawn dish soap, or this and that. It's on the shelf there, but people are usually just picking it because of the price more than anything else now. But it's the items that you don't need. That's where I'm seeing the ads today.
Yeah, I mean, I could go into 40-second rant about how much I hate Raid Shadow Legends or NordVPN. I mean, those are my two enemies I have to fast forward through today because they're ad reads on a platform that I don't see commercials. But if my favorite YouTuber, now I'm going to Rumble, my favorite Rumble guy is got an ad read for something that I particularly don't like, I got to stomach through it, or I got to fast forward to it, and I got to fine tune where he drops from the ad read back into his normal programming, which is why I subscribed to you in the first place, you motherfucker. And buy Blackout Coffee.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just, I think we all are there.
But we'll get back to the part where they were putting the stones onto the little things when Leeloo tells them the wind blows, okay, and fire burns or whatever, and that's when it finally that clicks in their heads that
they have to have a sample of the 4 elements.
Yeah, they have to use the elements to ignite the stones, and that whole thing is really cool. And each of them take one, and you see them each. And what was funny, the one thing that did stand out to me is when Cornelius wipes his head and he's able to squeeze enough sweat, out of it to get the stone to activate. I just thought that was kind of funny, and that whole thing. And then he's got one match left, just one match is ready to. Because how many times have you seen anybody just use a match just to light a cigarette today? And think about it.
I don't see matches used at all.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Somebody my age use a match.
That's what was interesting about the different things that stood out to me from comparing it from 25 years ago till today. That's what made it very interesting to me, because it was that you just don't see it, and it's you don't realize it at the time. Now I still use matches sometimes because I'll be doing burning a bunch of shit in my yard, like limbs and boxes, because I have a huge pile of boxes, empty boxes or stuff that you get mailed to you or whatever, and I set them out on the back porch. Even if they get rained on, I still save it, and then because there's no reason to try to put them all in my garbage. And we don't have, where I'm at right now, in New Orleans, you can recycle. They have these little boxes, you just put all your stuff in it, and you have a paper, glasses, whatever, separate it out. But here they don't have that. So I just break them down and stack them on the back porch, and when I get a bunch of them, I have a bonfire, and I use the cardboard to help burn, all the limbs and leaves or whatever else that I find, in the yard that needs to get rid of it. And I just have a big bonfire and get rid of stuff. But everybody does everything different, how they were, depending on where you live and how you do things. But
this is the type of faceless animated videos that helped us grow our channel 10 times in 2025. And we created this video in under 5 minutes with ToonB AI. Just type
that whole thing with the at the ending with the romance part, remember when he asked Cornelius what she'd said to him, and he said what those words meant, and he said not without her permission, because he tried to kiss her. Yeah. And then he talks to himself later, and so the little hints of romance I thought was really sweet. And then at the very end, after she watched videos about war and how humankind are such animals, basically, tearing each other up for property or what money or whatever it is. And then she was like, why should I try to save humanity? And why? What is it worth? What is worth saving? And that's when he says love. And that's when you see Cornelius in the background. He's like, just tell her you love her, because he wants to save the world or whatever. And I just thought that was really sweet when, he picks her up and he's hugging her, and then he kisses her about saving the world, because we have love, between people. And I just thought that was romantic and stuff. So it had a lot of aspects of things that I look for entertainment purposes for myself. Now, I think anyone that hasn't seen this movie needs to watch it. I think that they'd be pleasantly surprised in how good this movie is. It's got everything in it. It's got action, it's got romance, it's got great scenes, you know, great CGI. I mean, good costumes, and the diva singing, all that is just all really good entertainment. It's just got a lot of aspects in it. And even with the diva singing and the real weird operatic music and stuff, I don't even think that that turns guys off. I mean, you know what I mean? Even the romance parts of it, I don't think it would be something that's so repelling that guys are going to go, oh, I don't want to go see it. It's so stupid. It's got
I
this
didn't
in
hear any guys bitching. I think I might have been the only person completely upset discussing this movie when I was in my 20s. I didn't really appreciate it that much. I'm not going to try to fool you. It took me a while to warm up to this movie because of all the various things that were added in. And once I started seeing it, I started enjoying it. So
Mhm.
I'm very much okay with this movie now as a 40 something. But in my 20s, when it was fresh and new and I was trying to reject a lot of things that were in the cool kids club, no, I'm just going to play D&D tonight, guys. I don't want to go see a movie. I really have turned my opinion on this film. And
Mhm.
I think that all the elements of it that would not be a strong masculine draw, like the opera singer or the romance with the little genie in a bottle that turns out to be Leeloo. I
Yeah.
think I think it's really the best.
But Leeloo's not the only just attractive woman in it. I mean, look at all the beautiful stewardess
You
that were
could
on.
you could have been like completely happy as a heterosexual if this was your future, because going to McDonald's, you would want
Yeah.
to just spend the entire time gathering phone numbers or social media tags, and we'll talk later. We'll talk later. We'll talk later. And I just I can't understand how people don't like this movie. This movie is the future I want.
Yeah, I just thought it was so cute. It's so cute when I kept saying, "Holy crap!" McDonald's paid a lot of money to be advertising in this movie. You know,
Oh
because
yeah.
the
My God.
girls with the hats with the giant M's on them, and the sexy costumes that they were wearing, and then the stewardess. You know, they all had the blonde hair. It was a little curled, you know, like this, but I didn't have a wig like that. So
Did you think that look was reminiscent to Jackie O?
a little bit, because the little pillbox hats, which I tried to make me one, but it turned out like crap, so I didn't get to use it. But and plus they couldn't get the glue to dry fast enough, so it's like, damn. Oh well, it was kind of cute. But yeah, they're like there was a lot of throwbacks to the '60s. I thought, um, you know, with
And
the bright colors, and reminded me of the '70s. And then some of the hairstyles looked very pop, you know, like Andy Warhol type stuff. You know, there was a lot of mixtures of genres, but I don't think that was simply from the writer. I think a lot of that is to do with the, you know, the prop master. You know, the prop master looks at different things and what he feels or she feels would, you know, stand out. You know, just like the Divas costume and stuff like that. Uh, it's what they come up with to fill in whatever the picture is in the director's mind that comes to life when he reads the script. So they'll bring different concepts to him and he'll look and say, oh, I like that. Let's try that one. You know, that type of thing. So I just thought they did a really good job. And, you know, so I was trying to dress like, you know, sexy stewardess. But I thought the stewardess.
Nobody's complaining about how you dress. Ever.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the stewardess were adorable when Ruby Rod came on their you know, their ship and everything. I just thought it was just so cute. Like I was talking about the one scene where the boots come up, you know, in the curtains and then they go back down again. I just thought it was great. I just loved him. I would hang out with him. He just seemed like he was a lot of fun, especially when he's interacting with Bruce Willis and he's like, yes, you know. So boring, and it was just good. I just thought it was great, his character wise. But he helped too. He helped save the world. So at the end, when they were able to get all the stones to come to life, I thought that was great. So I love that part of the movie.
Hey, grumpy old ninja. Yeah, this movie is just it's a blast from the past, but it feels like it's 1997 special effects for 99% of the film, and it's got a very 70s esque or 1969 feel to it. Very much a very vivid, colorful, impactful. And I'm not talking about 1970s or late 60s dystopian sci-fi. I mean, kind of like coming off of the high the highs of the 50s sci-fi from the books, from all of that, from things like We Can Remember It For You, Wholesale, or The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. And it just feels like it's got that vivid ideas, those just impactful, powerful ideas packed in this movie. And it doesn't really feel like it's got age behind it. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel like it's from a
yeah,
generation. It's completely got it's science fiction. That I don't have any better way to say it. I mean, it is the world of what if, and fuck, we're not going to have that if we keep letting people make contracts with private companies to destroy private industries like what Ford did with the fucking Biden administration. Thank
mhm,
you, Bush McFadden, for telling me that. That fucking pisses me off.
yeah.
$8 billion to not have your cars have a AM radio in it because you're silencing Christian and conservative voices. I hope nobody that likes Ford, if you like Ford, I hope you stop buying it. Yeah, I
Well,
really do.
it's just the same thing. Everything you know that you read or you research and you find out about it, it's only if you can find the research. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If the government takes all the books and changes them, that means in 20 years from now, all the kids reading them in school or in the libraries, that's the only truth they're going to know. See, that's why it's important that we do go out and buy old books, go buy books and have them somewhere, store them. That's why I thought the Book of Eli movie was so good, because the whole concept of that was to save the past from disappearing. I'm sorry. I was about to cough.
So the legacy this movie has. Well, first off, it opened up the ability for Luc Besson to do the movie based on Valerian, which we will be watching at some point. This movie, as much as I want to talk about the legacy of it, it only lasted for maybe a couple years. There were some PlayStation games that were good, almost hard sci-fi with Bruce Willis as your alter ego, but they weren't really talked about that much. 2 years later, there was a movie that came out that destroyed the box office, and it revolutionized cinematography and how we film action scenes, and that's The Matrix.
Yes.
So, you as much as I want to say this movie has a lasting legacy, you have to get nerds around to talk about it. You really do. But I'll just go through something here that I think is kind of important. Don't get political, Bruce.
But see, that's one thing I tell people all the time is I'm like, instead of sitting down and trying to choke down some of these TV series and things like that they have out today, in the last 10 years, I've seen such terrible crap on TV. I tell people, go back in the past and start looking at some of the older shows. I mean, because they're popular because there's whole channels now, streaming entities that you can get on that have like Netflix. You can watch every single episode of Star Trek, the original series, things like that. And that's why they're popular. That's why Netflix and some of these other streaming channels, and there's a couple that are free that you can get on cable or the internet or whatever. I can't remember the names of them. I'm sorry, I don't remember them. But you can watch all kinds of shows on them. you know, old shows, old game shows, old TV series, old movies and things like that. And it's, if you, once you start watching it, you get hooked because you're drawn in because it's actual entertainment. You know what I mean? It's really, it's just, you know, it's just hard to go back to what that we have on TV now, when you can go back to the past and actually be entertained with stuff that's great. You know, great shows, TV shows, movies, whatever it is that your, you know, your interests are. But I don't know, they just, to me, it's really hard to find anything that's really good anymore. I hope they fix this. It's better. But what I was going to say real quick was a lot of 60s type things, a few things from the 70s with the colors and things like that. But people seem to think that the history repeats itself when it comes, you know, fads come back in and then they go out and then they come back in again. So maybe that concept is what they decided to use when, you know, the script writer and the prop people and stuff like that, and the wardrobe people got together of what styles that they liked. Because you got to remember, everything that's done in the concept part, the drawings and stuff, are all taken to the director, and the director says yeah, yes or no. So the director really does have final say. So, but the people that actually write up the draw up the concepts is the ones that come up with the ideas of what is actually going to look like. So that, you know, it's all put together that way, but the director is the one that finalizes everything. Like the vehicles, you see right there.
I'm loving this. I love the throwback on the vehicles, by the way. They completely look like something you'd find in like a post World War II, not quite the 50s yet. That looks like a Tucker-esque mobile. It really does.
Yeah, I just thought they were phenomenal. And the way that they did it, like, remember what we were talking about it during the movie, was you see the buildings, you know, just like today, you see they look the same. When you're looking down out the window, you see the street below, but you don't see the street. You see vehicles driving and or not driving, but flying through, and you got them going this way and they're stopping, you know, like there's stoplights, but there's layers of them. It's like a layer of cars flying here, layer of cars flying there, and it goes up and up and up. And I just thought that was just really, really ingenious. It just looked futuristic to me. You know, I could vision it that way. You know what I mean? And that's what I thought was so endearing about this movie. And that's why, to me, it won't age, because there's so much in it packed in that there's no way to say, oh, that looks like it's from this, or that looks like, you know, from whatever. It pulls me back to whatever, you know. It doesn't, because there's so many different things in it, thrown every direction, that it could be in the future and it could be now.
So this device is both a DVD player and a CD burner, which already makes it super useful. You can watch,
you know, and that's what I thought it was really cool. It's not campy like the original Star Trek series. You know what I mean? You can tell by looking at it, the way it's put together and everything, that it's older, you know, that it was an old thing. But when you watch this movie, you can't. I can't tell. That's why I said we were all 25 years ago. We were shocked because of how good it was and how well it fit in to the future. So I just loved everything about it. You could tell that the director put a lot of work into making sure his vision came to life the way he saw it. And you can tell.
I have something that maybe you guys will like. We're gonna probably be demonetized. So
Gonna probably be what?
We're probably gonna have a demonetized stream, which is fine.
Oh well, that's fine. Yeah.
I'm not concerned about it. I want to show you
Oh,
guys.
this is the real singer?
This is not the real singer. This is just a lady from Japan doing this, and play a few seconds of it. you like the diva dance, I think you're going to be kind of blown away. She does a impressive like 9 or 10 out of 10 for this.
Hmm.
It's not something that you're going to see too often, and I hope you guys you make some time, put it in. There's the chat right there.
Yeah, Tubi. Yeah, that was one of the ones I was trying to remember the name of it. Is one of the ones I'm talking about. They have old shows on there, and you can watch them, and it's entertainment, and a lot of people like it, because it has decent stuff on it, stuff that people want to watch, and you can watch it over and over again. I know a lot of people that like to watch, NCA, because it's a good, well-made show with good entertainment and entertaining stories, and good actors. So if you make a good show, and it's how many seasons go by, then it's a good show. But if someone says, "Hey, you want to watch this show? Came out like 5 years ago," and you'll say, "Okay, well, how many episodes?" "Oh, it was like 12 episodes, and it's 2 seasons." You're gonna say, "Nah, it's all right," because it didn't make it because it was probably shit. But now, a lot of people could say that about that TV show about the Wild West uh, Starship guys. I can't remember the name of it right this second.
About Firefly?
Yeah, Firefly. It was phenomenal, but for some reason they couldn't get anybody to want to keep them on the air. So I don't understand that, because it was a well-made show. I thought.
We can talk about that one of these days.
Mhm.
I'll be more than happy to talk about what I know about Firefly, because I used to have a lot of Firefly stuff,
Mhm.
and I can pretty much tell you that
Things,
it
but
wasn't Whedon. Whedon didn't fuck that up. It was actually uh, Fox that completely fucking sank it, and they didn't know what to do with it. Not the first time Fox has fucked up something, by the way.
Mhm. I can believe that.
And then Universal, the one that picked up the movie, and it was kind of like they wanted to make sure that there was no pre-scene in that movie. There was nothing before the Universal logo, just to show that Whedon had moved on from Fox, and he's like, "Fuck you. You had gold, and you pissed it away, and gave it to the South. Fuck you."
And I thought that was so cool when they had the lead actor from Firefly that came on the show for Big Bang Theory. That's another thing I loved about Big Bang Theory. They had lots of nerd actors that were in nerd shows on their show, and I thought that was a really good concept, because it brought nerds to the limelight. Where it's cool to be a nerd, and I still think it's cool to be a nerd now, when it wasn't before. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the reasons why I want to say that, like, you're going to have people come and watch this stream and discuss this, is because this is a part of Hollywood when Hollywood wasn't trying to downgrade and besmirch the audience. They weren't trying to punch you in the face and tell you you're a terrible pig. Give me your $20 so you can have a seat in this movie. They weren't doing that. You had a movie that was loved by the people that were making it, and they wanted to make the best product they could make. You had a guy that believed in a project for 20 years before he finally got a chance to make it become real.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And this film has its group of fans, and people are going to just, they're wanting. We do want echo chambers. A lot of people really do. A lot of people will want to listen to critical uh, uh, statements about something, but generally you don't want to hang out with people that don't value the things you value. You want to hang out with people that are kind of on your team. And so you're going to have people come back over and over again to various streams to talk glowingly about this movie and movies like it. And so that's something that I feel we're kind of making a mark tonight, because this is one of the movies that when I ask people, what is the movie that defines the 90s for you? They point to this film. They point to the hair, they point to the color grades, they point to the way that the special effects are done, because it's a almost perfect blend of miniature work, and CGI.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the movie, at the end of 2 hours and 5 minutes, you're there. And if you were like me, you stood up at the end of the movie and clapped because that's just what we do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a standard tokenization of white people that could go away for some people. But if I go watch a movie in the theater and I enjoy the shit out of it, if I think the movie hits on all the cylinders, I'm going to stand up and clap. At the
Hey,
end of the
when
film,
I saw Deadpool, we all did that.
yeah.
So I mean, and it wasn't just me. There was, not every single person, but half the people in this audience stood up and clapped at the end. Same thing with Top Gun. Okay, this newest one, Maverick, Top Gun Maverick.
Maverick Top Gun was amazing.
I know, but people were standing up and clapping. I don't know. It's just that you think that with the way things are going, that they would want make the people stand up and clap, on their own. They're not being, guns aren't being pointed at us to make us do it. We're doing it because we're impressed. Thank you so much for giving us entertainment.
Value for our dollar,
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
I think this movie, I know we couldn't make it today. I know that there's too many elements in this movie that are far from what the norm of what Hollywood wants to put out there. It does not fit the agenda. Even though there's many things in this movie that would be perfectly at home in 2023, this movie could not handle being re-released today. You'd have to go watch like a special midnight showing or a 10 p.m. viewing of it, but they wouldn't be able to put this movie out like, special anniversary showing of this movie, and it wouldn't be well received. I would be very surprised if it was well received. I think you'd have to have an educated effort going through social media, telling these dumb, pink-haired, blue-haired, fat-embracing influencers to shut the fuck up about your miserable lives and go enjoy some actual art for once. Because that's what this movie really is. And I didn't value it for what it was when it was released. Like I said, I didn't like this movie when I was a younger man. I thought there was too many parts of it that, I like Bruce Willis as John McClane. I don't want to see John McClane with a genie out of a bottle. I don't want to see him with super skinny, no boob girl. And I hate the fact that I was such an opinionated dick back then. I'm still an opinionated dick now, but I at least have broadened my. I've got a better net now, okay. And I like this movie a lot. It's nowhere near my top 10 or even my top 20.
Yeah.
But if somebody asks me, why would this movie have such a big effect on movie makers in the future? I couldn't actually point to them at any one portion of the movie and say, watch these 5 minutes. Because I think that's the failure of me trying to describe why this movie is so great. I think why this movie is so great is that literally Besson believed in it hard for 22 years, and he was able to bring it to life. And he was able to bring every aspect of it to life that he wanted. He went above and beyond any of the requisite needs just to make a film, and he would go above and beyond that. Like I said before, the Fox on Paradise, the cruise ship, they explode with a rather lackluster explosion. It's a 500-pound model that they used to show off and showcase this exquisite luxury liner. They did everything. Like, he wasn't happy with a base hit. He wanted a grand slam on every aspect, and he didn't ever lose that dream. I'm sure there were nights he went to bed and he was upset because the prop master wasn't fulfilling his needs. He was bringing stuff, and they're like, "No, can we go bigger? Can we do more detail? Can we get a better pan on this piece here? I need the scene to pop." I'm absolutely sure that there were so many times in the creating of this movie, Besson left the area just to go have a smoke and not strangle somebody.
I'm sure that probably did happen, but you got to remember too, when you have the opportunity to hire people, okay, you at first you get the script, and then you have a location manager. They go out and they start looking, going all over the place, taking photographs or making small videos showing landscape or buildings or cars. And some of them will go up on the top of a building and look down and video or take snapshots, all this different thing. And then they sit down, because this is their job, to find locations that this director told them, this is what I envision, and they explain it to them. Then they go out, and then the location manager goes out and finds it, and then he brings it back and he says, wow, these are great. I can see us doing that. But they got to make sure not just the vision of the shots, they've got to make sure that they got place for all the workers, places to park. How far away is it going to be if you have to put them all in vans and drive them to the actual location? All those different things. So they'll have like 6 different locations, to say, like to do one of the scenes they're going to film, and then they'll have 6 different places that look similar, and the director picks the top 3 or whatever. And then it's how far do they have to go back and forth to get all the actors and the equipment and everything to this location, whether or not that location is feasible or not. You see what I mean? To fit in the budget. So once they get that done, then, they've already got the actors that they want, but that doesn't mean they have them. And then that whole time, during this whole time, you're hiring someone to do the costumes, and then you're hiring someone to do the prop person, the prop master, or whatever else different things you're going to need to be able to do it and bring it to life. So you have lots of different people all working in different areas to get it to go. And you have to pick the right people, see? And that's the whole thing. If he'd already been thinking about this for a long time, I guarantee you he was already thinking, who do I want to do this? Who do I want to do that? Who do I want that I've worked with before that I know is going to see my vision? You see what I mean? So that is why some movies end up being phenomenal and others are like, because you can tell whether or not the people with the money wanted to pay or not pay. They had the right people to do certain things. Like that movie, The Evil Dead. Why was it so good? Why did so many people love it? Why is it such a classic hit? Because somebody's vision was brought to life, and other people sit down and see the same vision when they watched it. That's when it's a winner. And and it doesn't have to just be a classical movie. It can be, a horror movie or anything else. If everyone is able to envision the same thing that the director is trying to bring to life, it's going to be a hit. And that's what you got with this movie. You had all the right little boop, boop, boop buttons, lined out, and it worked. And it's still good. It's still good after 25 years. Yeah. Still believable, still fits into where it doesn't date itself or anything. I mean, you can sit and watch it today. You could take a 10-year-old kid from today that never heard of it, sit down and let them watch it, and they'll say, wow, that was a fun movie. That was really good. They wouldn't realize it was 25 years old. I can guarantee that. You know what I mean? There's not very many movies you can do that with.
If you were to rate this movie on a 1 to 10, what's your rating for it?
I would give it an 8 right now.
Okay.
I think it's a solid 8 because it's got pretty much everything in it. There's a few little minor things that we talked about, and that's it. Everything else, it fits right in. I think it's a timeless movie, and I think it will be in another 25 years. It'll still be timeless, where people can look at it and it still won't be too dated to where people won't think it's a good movie to watch.
The one thing we didn't really do too much is go over the cast list. We talked about the 3 mains, in my opinion, of the Ruby Road. Leeloo.
We did talk about Luke Perry, and then there was a couple others young actors that were in it that were very young. that we were like, holy shit, they look familiar. But the guy that played the leader of the aliens that had the really gross face changing things where they could change.
Tricky.
Yeah. He was wasn't he a rap singer or something? Because I've
He was
never
a rap
seen
singer.
him somewhere. I said he looked familiar. So I don't know. I didn't get a chance to look it up. I wish I did, but I say that a lot. I know, but sorry, I have other things to do too.
Aziz, light.
Life.
JP's
But
taken to light.
yeah, there was quite a few people that stood out that that I go, I've seen them before. Now the one guy that I still cannot put him in anything else was the guy that played the Amadeus looking guy. He was deaf or whatever, that character. I don't know, was he famous or anything, the person that he played or the actor? Yeah, I couldn't picture him in anything else, but there was a few others that looked like I've seen them before in other things. The cute little stewardess that had the freckles on her face, the one that I think that's the one he went down on, Ruby Rod. She was beautiful. She was a beautiful woman. I thought she was really pretty, and she seemed believable as an actress. I mean, I just thought she was really pretty. I thought all the stewardesses were beautiful, and I love their little costumes and stuff. And one thing that I really thought was really funny that made me laugh was the scene when they're all going onto the ship, and it was like a giant cruise ship, and it had all the people in the Hawaiian outfits, and stuff dancing around. And Leeloo's going multi-pass, and everybody and stuff. And she was having so much fun. Now, remember, the one thing that I had the worst problem with that I didn't really connect until I was watching it this time. Yeah, who was that guy again? He was the
imposter. He was
was
trying
he
to.
the speaker?
He was the.
Oh, he was the one that was pretending to be Korben Dallas, and he
Yeah, he
couldn't
was
keep
trying to be Korben.
human form. Yeah, okay. But the guy, the neighbor, remember the neighbor that was at the door?
Yeah.
That was trying to get him to believe it, and he got him to push the button. Now that guy was funny. So there was a lot of little small characters in it that were very entertaining for the part to build up the different characters. But I thought it was funny. But the part that I had the hardest the time with that I didn't make sense to me was, okay, he finally got Bruce Willis believing that this woman is supposed to save the world. Okay. So they go on this ship and they get in there and they're together. And then the stewardess comes by and she pushes that button and he falls asleep, right? Leeloo doesn't. She's watching these videos and things like that. Then he wakes up and Leeloo's not there. Okay. And then, he has to do all this stuff running around. He's getting a tux and doing all this stuff, but he's never saying, where's Leeloo? Where's Leeloo? I need to find her, searching the ship for her or anything like that. So I don't know. I just thought that gap there where he goes to the opera without her, all these different things was like, why isn't he caring where she's at? To me, that just didn't fit. That was the one thing why I can't give it a higher score than an 8 is because to me, that was a flaw in the script, the way that they did it. You know what I mean?
I could see that.
I just don't understand that. I still can't understand. I'm still trying to go, why, he's caring about her all this time. He went back to find out, where she was, and then she shows up, at his place and all the different things. It just seemed odd to me that he wakes up and he never asked any of the stewardess or Ruby Rod or anyone, where's Leeloo? Where's she at? I can't find her.
No, that doesn't happen.
So
that is a problem in the script.
I told you that yesterday when we were talking about it. I said that was the one thing I was like, what this is, it's like a missing piece of the puzzle that's missing from it. So that was the one flaw that I found.
Well, there is, I mean, some movies have flaws. You have you have the movie like Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a man who's married to Terry Garr with children, and he sees a UFO. His brain gets scrambled, and he
Yeah.
decides to run away from his wife and kids and jump on a spaceship and go somewhere else. But shortly before he does that, he kisses the mom from the Christmas Story. I don't really, I don't really think he thought this through, and I don't think he checked his penis either, because his penis would be like, "Ah!" He would have that angry dolphin from for the little firemen. I'm like, "Ah!
Yeah.
And that would be. So we have movies that have flaws. This guy here went to the opera without his wife. Okay.
Well, yeah, supposedly his wife, but and then when he gets the diva and she's shot and then she says that the stones are in me or whatever, and then he has to stick his hands in there and pull them out. That was pretty intense. And the whole time though he's with Ruby Rod, which I thought was the whole thing. He was a comic relief for it. He was awesome. I just thought he was funny, very, very entertaining. Every single scene that he was in, he was phenomenal in. So
we get some reviews of the movie coming in from our friends in chat, and thank you so much
really?
for being here tonight, guys. Wow,
Yeah,
16
thank you for
people in
joining
chat.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I've been trying to read some of them, but my sinuses are terrible. My allergies are horrid. That's why I have to keep turning up to blow my nose. But
Mr. Six Nation 31 Kings says this is one of Mala's best roles, better than the shitstorm that was a Resident Evil series.
mhm.
Boosh McFadden from our affiliate networks and some very, very good people's affiliate channels. I really need to hang out more in chats where this guy's talking. He was with you on Saturday night, was
I
it?
know. I told you he's a real wealth of information. I think he's
I
got a
love
lot.
having him around.
Yeah, I like him too.
I
very
didn't realize Ford had a done deal with the Biden administration with the anti-AM radio car design. That's a fucking idiot maneuver. He says, back to the movie. Stop talking politics. Politics. No politics. Okay. 10 out of 10. This is sci-fi action, but it has social and political commentary, lots of humor that lands. The cinematography is phenomenal. Sound design is solid. A little bit of bad CGI. It's 1997. And A+ writing and acting. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
definitely the actors that they chose, that they singled in on. I think they did great for the person that they picked to play the part. That's a really hard too. I mean, you could leave a movie and say, I really like this movie, but I think so and so would have been better as so and so. That's already a bad sign for a movie. You know what I mean? But when you can leave and say, I can believe this person being that person, to me is good. Yeah, I was going to give it a 9 because it's very, very rare that I give a 10 to anything, but I wanted to give it to 9. But once that whole part where why wasn't he even concerned where Leeloo was, to me that was like a hole in it to me. And so I had to take a notch away from that for that. If it hadn't been for that, then I would have given it a 9 too.
Smoke you. Tricky played right arm. Tomorrow from 9 to 5, will you try more than a 3-word vocabulary? I'm not here to play Pumbaa on the radio. So tomorrow from 9 to 5, you're going to give yourself a hand. Green? Super green. All right. The diva knows where the stones are, Janet. The stones were kind of weird for me. Like I said, when I first started seeing this movie, I wasn't really sold on it. Didn't really buy into the fact this is a movie that's about a prophecy. So everything will seem kind of cheesy. Enjoy the cheddar. It's Vermont and Wisconsin cheese blended. This is a movie where I thought the girl was smuggling stones around like she was some sort of cocaine dealer in outer space, and I didn't really get that. And I had to watch the whole movie because everybody else had already watched the whole movie, and it wasn't until 2001 where I saw like 2/3 of it. And yesterday was the first time I actually saw the original start of the movie 300 years ago, or actually at the start of the 19th or 20th century, when
Yeah.
they're at the pyramid. trying to figure things out, and then the ship arrives, and you get to see everything. I didn't understand that. I never understood the movie beforehand. Okay, well, this is a prophecy. Okay, well, forgive me. That's all I can ask.
One thing that I liked about that part was Stargate SG-1. Okay, when the movie that came out, the concept that they used with the pyramids for the ships, for like sitting on, whatever however you want to put that. That whole thing was, to me, was really cool. And that's why I thought the aspect of this temple being out in the middle of nowhere like that, it was for a purpose. And I just thought that was a really good, I just really thought I liked that aspect of it. So, and that's the one thing I did like about Stargate, was the concept of all the pyramids, the different pyramids in certain areas and why they would be there. So, the phenomenal shape of them and stuff. I just thought that was really smart for the writer to sit and think the details like that, to write it down. I thought that was interesting. And I thought the same thing about this temple and the way they set the temple up, and there's an opening in the top of it, and then it has the places for the 4 elements, and then having a plat, well, I don't know what you'd call it, an altar or whatever in the middle for the 5th element. I just thought it was ingenious, the concept of it.
Matches are fun. Yeah, I like the way that the negotiation scene works out. Everybody in this movie nails their roles. He had a mission: save the world. We forgot about the auto wash. Movies gaining one-liner. There's so much gold in this movie that if you're a gamer, just watch this movie again, just to refresh your memory of all the gold that you hear from all the characters. Bruce Willis is just he's a repository of just like one-liner snacks. Like, we paid Bruce Willis $1 and he gave us his 7 words of gold, and like that happens throughout the entire filming process. It's great.
Oh, and the other thing I thought was so cool that was the cigarette dispensers. Okay, and when it would drop the cigarette down, almost the whole cigarette was a filter.
The entire cigarette filter.
Yeah, and it said "quit smoking" on every one of the little dispensers, trying to get people, like they do today. They're constantly telling you what they think is best for you. And I just thought,
here is tobacco.
Yeah.
The rest of this is filtered.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny as heck, and I'd forgotten about that part, but I just thought it was hilarious.
I actually think that's probably pretty true, because the pyramids, we're finding out more and more the pyramids are energy generation devices, and that probably is very true.
I mean, the concept of it is what's so ingenious, and that's one reason why I think a lot of us are drawn to sci-fi, because there's so many elements in there that we've all thought about, and is believable to us when we hear someone telling a story or something like that with the pyramids, the ship, and the way things were run in different shows that we watch, or movies that we really liked, or even books that we read about the types of ships and the way the weapons that they use, and the way that the camaraderie between the team, like the movie that's out right now, The Guardians, how the Guardians personalities work together, and they're able to do things because they the trust, but just the personalities and how they get along with each other, that keeps us coming back and wanting to read another story. You know what I mean? So that, to me, is why we're all hooked on certain things, because we're all looking for that type of entertainment. And I just wish that they didn't hate us so much. So they'd make more good stuff that we want to see. So, because we're already hooked, we just want to come back. We're homeless right now. We're like, why? But yeah, I like that. I remember that.
It's one of the best lines in the whole movie. going to my StreamYard here, and it looks like May 22nd, we have a special guest with a crafting gamer, and he's going to be going
Yeah.
with us to watch the Family Guy Star Wars trilogy. That'll
Oh,
be
I saw that earlier. I saw something in the chat that said something about, are we going to watch it in Discord so that some other people can come? Yeah,
we
we will try to do that.
I'll have links set up in both Janet's and my Discords as we get closer to that day, just so we don't have alphabet people trying to say, oh, we're pilfering and stealing intellectual property. Oh, no, we're not. We're having a watch party. That's what we do. I want to do that. I really do. I want to have people enjoy this.
Yeah, I think so too, because I've never seen it. So I'm excited about getting to watch it.
It's a laugh fest. Grandfather said it never rains every day. I bet you lunch. Okay, you're fine.
I'll have to turn my mic off because I'm really bad about talking out loud during the movie and stuff. And that's why a lot of people like Sandy. Now, Sandy goes to the movies with me a lot, and we both do it. So it's like, it's no big deal because we're both going, during the movie to each other. Oh, do you see that? What do you think about that? During the movie. And a lot of people hate it. So, no. I'm just warning people. So I'll make sure I try to remember to mute my mic when we do it in Discord, because I'll do the same thing.
So we've got, I guess my rating. This movie for me is a 83 out of 100, 8.3 out of 10. I think this is a fantastic movie. It's one of the better films that we've had in the last, since I've been born. Is it like I said, top tier or top 20 movie? No, it's not. Is it a fun movie? Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
And I really think that this is like one of those films that you see. Unguard the Strawberry shirt for the win. Okay. This is one of those films that you watch with your family when you're a young man. This is a film that you take your date to and you just enjoy your time with. And nowadays we have physical media, which is going less and less, and you can find it digitally.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind YouTube, they have it available for free. And I think this is probably one of the better movies that's available from YouTube right now, because they usually have like a list of really bad Bruce Willis, Nick Cage movies that you can choose from to bore yourself with. I'm still not seeing any chance of us doing a Willy's Wonderland discussion. Although whenever I do see that available, I will badger Janet so we can.
Oh, I didn't even watch the whole thing. You gotta remember, I only watched some of it, and then I said, "Oh my God, this is terrible. I'm not watching it anymore."
It's really not a bad. It's a shitty movie. It's a horrible film.
Yeah, it's horrid.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies you want to run out screaming. Not just walking out or falling asleep during. If I fell asleep during, at least I could have got a good night's sleep. But I mean, it was a movie I actually wanted to get up and leave, to get out, because it was just so bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, this is a lot of people's favorite sci-fi film of all time. You get away from people
One of my
that
favorite sci-fi movies. Galaxy Quest is like way up at the top, but this is
we'll discuss this later, because there's a lot of various sci-fi movies that I consider are like just in this tier of great movies. And
I feel the same way. This is a good one. This is a good movie. Very good, well-rounded. It's got it, just like I said, it's got almost every single thing you need in it for entertainment.
For me, there's 2 Star Wars movies out of all the Star Wars movies that are better than this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also like 8 or 9 or however many other Star Wars movies that are stinking turds much worse than this movie. And I stopped watching Star Wars films after 2015 because the outrage clicks and the outrage from nerds upset that their world that they thought was Star Wars, which Disney doesn't agree with, has been changed and been upset. So it's more entertaining to watch these people rail against Star Wars. Like I used to watch Jessie Millstone, the mindless entertainment girl, and I used to watch some others because they were so anti Last Jedi. That's what started the entire movement of the Geeks and Gamers phenomenon that happened across the alt-right portion of YouTube, which is great. And I think that actually gave us a voice, gave everybody I know a voice, and we started talking about how good movies are. That was me and Janice's entire discussion. Was our mission was to have a discussion night where we would talk about movies that were good, and we didn't have to have like the best movies out there. There will be the occasional Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter rewatch and discussion because that's not a good movie. Is it fun to watch? Yes. Is it good? No. And I think we need to have an appreciation for less than good movies. We will be watching FDR American Badass, which is not a good movie. It is an amazing script, and the guys on screen sell it like it's a multi-million-dollar movie. It is not a good movie.
Yeah, but Rocky Horror Picture Show wasn't a good movie either. And neither was, what was the one you were saying the other day that we were going to watch? And I said, oh my God, it's such a good, the Flash Gordon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's a B-rate movie, but it's awesome movie. You know, I loved it, and it's corny and all that, but it's still good. I mean, it's still very entertaining. So it's a good bad movie. Put it that way, but it's good. So and there's a place for those type of movies in our lives.
We'll have to watch Ice Pirates. We will have to watch it because there's some golden in their hills. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. He gives it a 77. I gave it 8 more. I gave it 83, like I said. I get accused of being Michael Chiklis. Yeah, I know. I get that all the time. Let's see. People talking about Ice Pirates. Galaxy Quest, yeah, that's a great movie. That's one of Janet's faves. That's one of her top 5 faves.
It's really good. And the thing is, it has the same stuff. It has romance, it has comedy, it has more serious, stuff in it. It's a well-rounded, sci-fi movie, so it has all the elements that it needs. It's just that it's just the story's different. It's a different story with different people in it, and whether the story's a little better is depending on the person. It's down to the person watching it, not the actual overall story, because both the stories are really good. The acting was really good. The music was good. CG was good. It's got all the same stuff. It's just that I like the story about, in Galaxy Quest a little better than I liked this one.
There's some people that are going to rate this higher than Galaxy Quest.
Well, yeah.
Rate it lower.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm just telling you where I put it. That's all.
My childhood icon, my childhood hero is in chat, Mr. George Lucas. Thank you, sir, for joining us tonight. Fifth Element's not economy, has comedic aspects. Their chat's blown up, by the way. Star Wars is dead. It died in Lucas when George sold it. I won't touch any of their stuff. I will not forgive or forget their sin. George Lucas called Disney themselves white slavers, and I think we need to remember that. Tony Shalhoub, alien tentacle fetish is quite entertaining in Galaxy Quest.
Yeah,
it is.
And she was a cutie pie, the actress that he ended up with.
Oh, I love Mindy.
She was gorgeous.
And she's still hot today.
She was very pretty.
She's that's all I'm going to say. Flight of the Navigator is one of my favorite films from '86. Mainly for the fact that I wanted to be in a UFO and tour the United States with Pee Wee Herman. And I completely bought into that movie, thinking that that would eventually happen, and dreaming about that, having stupid little boy dreams about getting in a UFO one day and just touring and having a road buddy like that. Never quite happened, but I've been on plenty of road trips ever since then. They did follow the interstate.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon. Yeah, that's a good movie.
There are so many good movies out there. That's why I told Bruce, I said, we're never going to run out. We could do this every single day till the day we die, and we'll never run out of movies because there's so many good ones. There really is. It's just that other people don't know about them yet.
You just heard it in your head. Dun, 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 dun,
I know it's a good movie.
Nuggies. Sam Rockwell is freaking amazing. Yeah. A little bit more. Save every one of us. Yes. God. We'll have to watch that here. I'm gonna have to move that up because I've got that for the winter time for 23. We'll have to move it into summer.
Yeah.
I watched The Black Hole again not long ago, and that's really not a bad movie. But if you can't look at that movie like it was made in 79, you have to look at it like it was made in 56 and then stored in a desk next to Walt Disney or Walt Disney's cryo chamber. They tested it out, then they brought it out and put Walt Disney in when he died, and we got the movie released.
Well, they do that, people, you write a script, and if somebody likes your story, they'll look into, locations and start doing all the same thing that they normally would do. But to say they can't find the right location, or they don't have the actor that they want for it yet, but they really like your story and they don't want anybody else to get it, they'll pay you to table it, which means it gets put on the shelf. But they're paying you. So you're not selling it. You sign a contract, you table it. And then after in your contract, it'll say it's, for 2 years, you'll table for 2 years, and then they can renegotiate whether they want to pay you or not. So that does happen. They do make movies. I've worked on a few things where they made it, and a pilot, a TV pilot, it's still not out yet. So you just never know when it will go out, or if it ever will, because people's already been paid. They don't have to do anything with it. So they do have plenty of stuff that was made before that they could do now. So.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing, sir? Mr.
Oh,
Flady.
yeah, that's a good one.
Mr. Flady donates some cheddar for the chat and an upcoming. Let me show you guys what we'll be doing here. Explorers. All right, so I go to my StreamYard. Stay. Hold on. Do this the wrong way and boomer myself. That's exactly what I want to do. Create live stream. Let's see what's the Drill Down movie May 22nd, June 5th. So 14 days would be June 19th. Okay. Live stream. Later, we'll get the rest of this uploaded as we hit the month of June. Do it for June 26th. All right. We got the bones set up for that skeleton, and we will be getting everything set up after that. This is a nerdy kid movie. It's got River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke when they were very, very young. This is the same movie, same year that Back to the Future came out. During that same year. There were 3 Spielberg movies that came out like right every season about that same time, and I think The Explorers came out before Back to the Future. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that movie, the Black Hole, feels like it's an early 60s, late 50s sci-fi film, and I love that movie. It's not a good movie. It's a fun movie though. It was capitalizing or trying to capitalize on the sci-fi boom created by Mr. George Lucas, who is here with us in chat tonight.
Yes, it was. We saw him.
Well, he's in between. He's making small films for himself. I've seen this on video where he actually says this. I'm not going to be doing big films. I'm going to be doing small films for myself. I like that idea. You know, I have to write stories for myself because I know for a fact the stories I want to read, nobody else will really want to.
That's what you can see. That's when you're wrong. Because
I disagree.
If you like it, someone else definitely is going to want to see it too.
Uh-oh. Janet, how familiar are you with DS9 and Babylon 5?
Not really. I'm not really big into it. Now, I did watch Babylon 5, a few episodes of that, but so much stuff was going on, I didn't really get to do all of it like I would have wanted to if I could have.
I'm gonna have to queue up my friend Garrett to get the Plex servers staffed up with Babylon 5 episodes and DS9, because we're gonna have to watch this kind of like on a down low, and then we'll have to do like a 3-episode extravaganza talking about each season of each show.
Yeah.
Because holy shit. Out of all the Star Trek series that have ever been, the DS9 was the one that held me the best.
Yeah, I really liked Deep Space Nine, the episodes that I did get to watch. So I thought it was really good Star Trek. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
So yes, I did like it too. And I would like to watch it again.
Maximus is holding cap. I can see that. Explorers is great. Pairs night with FOT. Ooh. Those shows are better in DS. The effects are better in DS9.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a tab open? Let me see. That is so much.
I didn't even know much on there. I don't know how anybody could just spot it.
That's a Felix comment. This is Wikipedia for Fifth Element. This is IMDb for Fifth Element. Here's my Tubi and StreamYard. I don't have any other tabs open.
Lions. Oh, that was so good. That was really good. Maybe. But so was the bridge to Terabithia. That was a good one too.
Oh, I like Bridge to Terabithia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next week, let me go back to my StreamYard real quick. And today is the 15th, so we're talking about the 22nd. For those of you that didn't hear before, we are going to be discussing the Family Guy Star Wars trilogy. We will have a watch party in Discord. We will get this to where we have it available so everybody can stop by and watch it. It'll be on a Sunday night, probably around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll let people know if it's going to be Janet's or mine. Might do a dual. Actually, I like it having everybody in one general area that we can all talk to each other, chat with each other. There's chat options with Discord.
Share popcorn.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And this is sponsored by Mr. The Crafting Gamer, and he will be with us on the 22nd of May discussing these 3 amazingly fun episodes. I want to thank everybody that's been here tonight for sharing your time with us.
Yes.
I don't know how else I could say it. This was more than what I expected. You guys were great. We had a lot of people in chat. Janet, thank you for getting out there on social media and talking about this, but this is fantastic. And yeah, fun as Navigator and
all of the people that are in the chat, thanks to them for coming and wanting to listen to us and share their insight is what makes it successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all on them. We are thankful for you guys.
Robert,
because without you guys, we wouldn't have any reason to be here.
We would be talking to ourselves. Still
Well,
enjoying ourselves, but
I still do that. But I still talk to myself. But it's nice to have other people to talk to.
Babylon 5, we need to watch that season by season, and we need to kind of compile, do like a almost like a Clobberin Times and Rachel Briggs sort of thing.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
ask a
I
lot of
love that on Saturday night, the Star Trek.
I wish my game didn't run so long when my players want to play, so I give it.
Yeah, because after we're done playing, I'm like, I'm dead. I just go to bed. I eat something and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna lay down. I mean, last time was what, over 9 hours. That was a long stream. I didn't think we'd ever get finished. I just couldn't. I was barely able to stay awake for it because I got up at 4 that morning. So,
Do I need to send you some coffee?
no, I have coffee. It's just that, I got a rooster. He wakes you up. I could send you a rooster if you want one.
I would love a rooster. I don't have anywhere to house him right now.
Yeah, but your neighbors wouldn't like them. That's what I'm talking about. And they don't just crow in the morning. They start crowing and they crow all day long.
All day.
Yes.
You know what's good to have with a rooster? Guinea birds.
I was gonna say dumplings. Oh, sorry. But yeah.
Our friend Tommy was in chat. Bone has got a flag out there if you guys are wanting to listen to more retro discussion. Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective as an associate. I wish he was a friend of mine. We are on good terms, but I don't see him as often as I want. I'm sorry, and that's my fault just as much as his. But I'm going to tell you the reason why I like Tommy so much. He's a hard-headed. He's a very good, stubborn guy. He's got a love for 80s toys. So if you want to talk about Diaclones, which are the G1 Transformers, if you want to talk about G.I. Joe stuff or Mask, if you want to listen to somebody talk about the old days, Tommy doesn't have the museum that Retro Blasting does, and I love Retro Blasting. That's out of all the toy channels, they're probably the ones that I go to the most whenever I'm going to stream, just like watch a marathon. They're great. But Tommy has a channel that he does all sorts of fun shit with retro toys, and he gets into deep discussion, deep dives on these, and he kind of goes a lot further than retro blasting or even Laura Legends, which those are two good toy channels if you're into toys. I recommend those two. However, I know Tommy well enough to where I can talk to him and ask him how his day is going, and we will have a conversation. And if you get to know Tommy well enough, which I implore, I think you probably should, I would love it to see him get past 5 or 6,000 and be able to start thinking about what am I going to do with YouTube. I don't have to worry so much. I can have a live stream and I can generate some money to take care of a water bill or whatever is weighing on his mind. I would love that. Raise his flag a bit. He's a good guy. When you start listening to the things he talks about, his passionate items that he does care about, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. And if you're going to bitch at me for being a shill, that's fine. But I like what Tommy has to say. Thank you, Bone, for putting that out there. Sorry. Go ahead, Janet.
With what?
You want to lead us out? We're on our way out of here, by the way.
Oh, we are? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
thank you everybody for coming. And Bruce will post the information for us for the watch party. So if you want to come join us, we did have a few people stop in and join us for just a few minutes while we were watching The Fifth Element. So, I tried not to talk too much, but I do talk. But it was fun. So we'd like to have you guys come see us if you want.
Bush McFadden, JB Petratus, Flady 1, Travis J, 1975, Shadow and Sun, Six Nations, 31 Kings, Bone, Earth 17 3D. Everybody that was here in chat tonight, thank you so much for making this a success. I really appreciate this. It's more than just a numbers game. I see you guys in the chat and I see you just enjoying yourselves. We meet sometime, you're getting a beer, you're getting a handshake, you're getting a hug. Appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.